Jack? Where's Jack? Where is he? Jack, I want to see you. Great job, Jack. Thank you. What a job you do. You know, we have an incredible thing. We're always talking about the fake news and the bad, but we have guys, and these are the guys who should be getting Pulitzers.
All right, Jack Posobiec back live, Human Events Daily. Now, yesterday, you may remember that we spent the whole day really slamming this idea that the courtroom would have no cameras in it for the Tyler Robinson case. This is the murder trial of Charlie Kirk. And that's something that, just from the public perspective, I can't abide. And so Human Events Daily, Human Events Media Group put together an open letter and submitted it to the court requesting and really opposing this ban on cameras, and really excited that the great Julie Grant, none other than the great Julie Grant of Court TV, ran a segment on the very same subject just yesterday, and we've got a clip of it.
Let the cameras roll. The defendant, accused of assassinating Charlie Kirk, wants to keep the cameras out of the courtroom. His lawyers argue it will taint the prospective jury pool and jeopardize his right to a fair trial. They say after his first court appearance, the public scrutiny of his appearance and his movements was happening excessively because of what was shown in the courtroom. Well, when you pick up murder charges, public scrutiny usually comes with it. What did defendant Tyler Robinson think was going to happen next after he allegedly confessed to his lover that he assassinated Charlie Kirk? Do you think a walk in the park was what was coming next? No, criminal charges and a trial, if he so chooses, are what comes next. And in Utah, cameras are permitted to film and photograph court proceedings. We've seen time and time again with the trials that we broadcast here on Court TV that the cameras have zero bearing on the fairness of the trial. We see defendants get a fair trial with intense public scrutiny time and time again. Examples: O.J. Simpson, Casey Anthony, Karen Reed, just to name a few. The jurors aren't watching the trial on TV. They're not allowed to do that. So it sounds to me like this defendant just wants some special treatment. But he's not special. And I suspect the judge will deny his request to exclude the cameras. But yet still, that judge will ensure that Mr. Robinson...
And just a shout out to the great Julie Grant, another fellow Temple owl, by the way, I should mention, over doing the yeoman's work at Court TV. And I'll just quote from the Human Events piece yesterday. Charlie Kirk did not have a choice or even any say over whether or not his murder would be live streamed. Only his assassin had a say in that. Charlie Kirk didn't get to have a say. His murder was on video, on live stream, in front of the entire world. His children will see that one day. They will. That's just the nature of things. But what we do have a say over is whether or not the trial will be open to the public. And we all believe that it should. And I'm just really grateful that Julie put that video together and has come out swinging on this one. Cliff Maloney, another good friend of Charlie Kirk, who also runs the PA Chase and the NJ Chase, joins us now. And Cliff, I'm sure I don't even need to ask you your sense on this. Cameras in the courtroom, yes or no?
100% yes. Open transparency, that's what we need. It's what the people want. Let everything be seen. With you 100%.
No, it's as simple as that. And this idea that they could shut it off, it's just ridiculous. No, people need answers. This is what we want. This is what we fight for. It's what America's all about. It's about having this done in public because, by the way, the public having access is a check on the court process, right? Because then you have the voters, the electors, the residents, the citizens. They have the ability to see what's going on. That's the entire point of America. Last I checked, last I saw.
Yeah, and don't we want people that are thinking about committing horrific acts in the future to have to see what he goes through? I love that they're saying that, people were judging his appearance. It's like, come on. We need people in the future to not realize that, I can do this and then just hide away. They need to be seen. Let us see their face. Let us see the reactions. I want to see what this monster is doing when hopefully he is strongly convicted. But I want to see it. And I think not just we deserve it as people who knew Charlie, the American public deserve it. And it will detract people in the future because they will see what this guy goes through, which should be a horrific process for what he did.
No, and I think it will be, Cliff. No, I'd be remiss because we do have some work at hand, and that's what Charlie would want us to do. We want us focusing on the mission, and the mission and the task in front of us is New Jersey. This race where I'm looking at some of these polls, man. The new, I think it was the Quantus Insights poll that came out last night. Really interesting byline. If you went into the crosstabs, one of the questions they asked was that old question about not who are you voting for, but who's your neighbor going to vote for? And there was this really interesting phenomenon that we also saw with a candidate named Donald J. Trump last year, where if you asked the question, who's your neighbor going to vote for, suddenly Trump's numbers would bump up. And they called that the shy Trump voter effect. Well, what we might also be seeing a shy Chitterelli effect because his numbers bumped up. Now he's leading by 6 points when they asked that question, who's your neighbor going to vote for? So what I'm thinking is, man, there could be a chance that our boy Chet up there in New Jersey, he might actually be able to have a groundswell of support that we're not yet tracking in a lot of these polling numbers. I know you've got new numbers on the mail-ins. Break us down.
Yeah, and look, once again, if you would have told me months ago that this race would be neck and neck, I would have said, look, we're not supposed to be able to win Jersey. We're not supposed to be able to flip a blue state after the White House turns red and we've got all of Congress, right? We're used to a pushback. That's not happening right now, right? We are in play. New Jersey is competitive, and it's because of all the work of so many people coming together. Here are the numbers that we just got hot off the presses about 25 minutes ago. Okay, if you look in Jersey, 184,000 registered Republicans have requested a mail-in ballot. The good news is a bunch of them have sent it back. The bad news, 76,000 New Jersey registered Republicans have a ballot sitting on their dining room table. Jack, this is the entire election, right? We at New Jersey Chase, njchase.com, we have 105 full-time ballot chasers. This is what they're doing. I want to be very specific. We are going to the houses of those 76,000 Republicans that went through the process to request a ballot, but they've yet to send it back. If we can bring that number down and make sure that tens of thousands of them send it back. Remember, Jack only lost by 80,000 votes in 2021. This is what we must prioritize. We've got to compete in early vote, and then we've got to dominate Election Day. But right now, the battle is getting that 76,000 number, getting to those people and getting those ballots back in.
Look, this is what it comes down to. And Charlie was the one who understood this, that our elections have changed from a persuasion process to a collection process. It's about putting pieces of paper in boxes. That's what it's all about. And the Democrats changed this. We don't want to be doing this. Like those of us who have done politics and, Turning Point Action and the rest, we would much prefer to go back to the old method. But if this is going to be the new method, we've got to fight smart and win the same way we did last year. Isn't that right?
Yeah, it's 100% correct. Look, you have two options. One, you can complain about the rules and guarantee a loss. Or you can say, hey, let's fight fire with fire. Let's try to compete against the Democrats using their own tactics. And that's exactly what we've done. As you know, this whole Chase thing is just me taking Biden's 2020 playbook in Pennsylvania, rerunning it in 2024, but for our side, and now just taking all the things that we learned from Pennsylvania, doing the PA Chase, and using it in New Jersey. Here's my ask to everybody out there, Human Events Daily, everybody in Poso Nation. If you want to help us win New Jersey, there's two things you can do. One, come to New Jersey. We've got Super Chase events that Jack and I will be at both Sunday and Monday. Big events. If people want to come out and help us knock doors. But if you can't, njchase.com, go there right now, sponsor a ballot chaser. We only got 6 days left. I need to keep as many of these people on the ground. I want to really make sure that we don't have to pull out, that we can finish strong. That 76,000 number. If you chip in $175, that is a full day of ballot chasing. That is us talking to dozens of voters on that list that have a ballot right there. But those are the two options. Either come out to Jersey. If you can't, go to njchase.com, sponsor a ballot chaser. This is the fight, and Jack Chitterelli has a real shot at winning.
I love it. Vote for Chet. I saw somebody calling him Chet, because it's Chittarelli. Said we got to get up there and got to go vote for Chet. I'm like, okay, all right, I'm down with that. I could think of some other puns that maybe we got to be careful with, but no, that's great. And you're right. I will be there this Sunday, Tom's River, for the Turning Point Action, joining up with the NJ Chase, and we're going to be doing that event. It's 1 p.m. in Tom's River. Go to turningpointaction.com. You can get all the information on this first time that Turning Point Action has deployed to New Jersey. And it's really just because when you look at the race itself, when you look at the metrics, when you look at the momentum, and Chet has got the momentum. Jack Chittarelli has the ability to win this race and tell the entire political ecosystem that, guess what? The Republicans just flipped a blue state when you said it was impossible. We'll see. Right back, Human Events Daily, special guest, and sticking with Cliff Maloney, going over to Pennsylvania next.